Join the crew as a member of the Onyx Key for exclusive members-only messages, redirections, and content. We already have a bunch of videos live with some familiar topics as well as new questions, so I'll see you on the other side of the Onyx Key. Make sure you hit the join button to go deeper down this experience with me. Hey family, so we're back with another herbal tea honey video. This is a part of that herbal tea, herbal latte series. You can find them all in that one playlist in that podcast section on the channel. So we're going to see what people say, gossip about, and find attractive about you. So this is our reputation check reading, right? We like to keep that theme going. So I want to get you guys something out before Christmas. So here we go. I'm going to hold the thumbnail up so you can choose your piles. Pile number 1 is the green matcha latte or tea with marshmallows. Pile number 2 is the citrus spice cider tea. Pile number 3 is the chai latte or tea, your preference on the label. And then pile number 4 is the chrysanthemum flower tea. I'll give you a moment to make your selection. And if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. All right, pile number 1, my green matcha tea with marshmallows. Let's take a look at what people say, gossip about, and find attractive about you. So what is the overall reputation right now for my pile number 1? Got a lot of stuff. Okay, I like it. People say a lot of positive things about you, and I don't know what you've been working on or just how you've matured as a person overall, because we've got this energy of play, which feels like people see you as someone that's either able to take a break with that rest, able to take a vacation, able to really just enjoy your life, whether it's just the fruits of your labor or if it's just an era where you're able to just take the time to enjoy stuff, or if you're just sharing the wealth and everyone's able to play and enjoy from the fruits of your labor, because we've got this devotion and new growth energy, right? So the seed moon, right? Which is a seed planted, right? For eventual ability to really, really enjoy life, or a seed that's kind of now the foundation of whatever harvest you're in right now, okay? So we're seeing growth due to devotion, right? Like something you've been very devoted to, very dedicated to, is starting to, you're either seeing the potential at the earliest stage of the pile, or you're really seeing results, okay? And people are speaking very highly of you as a result. They think it's fun, they think it's great, because whatever it is you've been devoted to that's growing, it's enhanced your quality of life, or it will in the future, right? Like I said, you're all at varying experiences, polarities of the experience. So where this is brand new, they're like, yeah, this is eventually going to really work out for pile number 1. I can't believe they're going to be doing so well, or I can't believe like they're starting to see the results of this. So let me see. Okay. And where we're not talking about a specific instance, we have the energy of, man, pile 1 has really matured in a way where, like, I can see how far they've come. Okay. Yeah, we got the Knight of Swords here. So the Knight of Swords is someone that's very quick-witted. When we talk about maturity, it's someone that's really figured or in a process of figuring things out. So we talk about that growth, we talk about that devotion, really locking into what needs to happen and just really moving on it. Because when we talk about play from just an action standpoint, it's activity, right? It's where you move, it's where you go, you just kind of do what needs to be done, and you kind of fight for what it is you want in that devotional energy. So people call you a go-getter. They definitely think you're very capable of achieving whatever goals that you have, and that's your overall reputation for the most part. Yeah, people like you. People like having you around. Like, you have great energy, great vibes, right? People like to celebrate and play with you. Like, literally. Like, what if you like games, if you have a lot of hobbies, if you're always down to like participate in any social thing, like, they love that, right? Especially if you're the type that initiates those types of things, like, hey, we should go do this fun thing, we should plan this fun stuff. People think so highly of you, right? But that creator energy is also that power of, okay, they have the potential to reach whatever goal they have in motion, okay? We got the sorrow of the 9 of Swords. Yeah, let's expand the table a little more. You make lemonade from lemons. There's not much that can put you down or keep you down. Any sorrow, stressful situation, like you may be the personality where like you don't see failure or bad things, negative situations as that. You don't limit your perspective in that way. You see them as opportunities for growth, to devote, to learn, to evolve, to fight, right? Like you create something from that because you kind of have that understanding, or at least people see you as having the understanding that anytime we're in lack or something's not going our way, that's a gap that we can create something in. Okay, so like that's how people describe you, as a problem solver. Look at you. You're a pile that you have a lot of key words that people would use. You have a lot of labels, right? Like the creator. Tell me more about my green matcha tea with marshmallows. The moon. Emotional intelligence is definitely a category they would put you in. Because that card talks about satisfying emotional needs. You're someone that's very self-aware. You're very grounded in understanding your emotions and what makes you tick. So you're good at nurturing yourself, but you're also, that self-awareness extends out. You're very gifted at understanding other people and their energy, which is why you're such a joy to be around. All right. We got Pisces. You may have water placements, right? The dominant energy here is someone that would have a lot of like Neptune, Pisces energy, or Moon, Lunar, Cancer energy, okay? Which people like to be around those types because when it comes to the Pisces energy, there's that allure, that fantasy, that glamour that people kind of cling to. I often call it siren energy. When it comes to that Cancer, Lunar energy, it's someone that people connect with on an emotional level. Like people tend to be really comfortable with those types, and a lot of you here are the perfect hybrid of all of that. Very open, welcoming, and like comforting energy, but also that glamour of, oh, I want to be near this person. Okay, look at you. I don't have too much going on. Like, what's the reputation? Everyone likes you and they think that you deserve everything you get. They think you work hard for everything you've got. Like, you're very skilled and talented. You're very smart. Like, I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't have a lot of physical energy here, but if people described you physically so far, you would be a person that they're like, you look friendly, you look welcoming, you look nurturing. Even if you have that glamour, it's not so mysterious that it turns people off. It's more people can tell that you're private, right? People can tell that you don't tell all of your business, because that's another thing, is people definitely mention that you keep your business to yourself, especially when things are going bad. So they really only see the results where you're seeing growth and everything, because that's when you begin to share it with people. There's nothing wrong with keeping your business to yourself until it like comes to fruition. But like, that's how people describe you. Like, you will never know if Pile 1's on hard times. You'll never know if Pile 1 is struggling. You'll only know once they get the result they want or a comparable level of success, right? So tell me more about my Pile 1. What do people say, gossip about, and find a track? Yeah, you're a very good communicator. People would describe you as lucky. If you have an offer you've recently got, or if you're expecting one, I might be predicting. People are talking about whatever offer, whatever luck, something that's really exciting. People want to celebrate some type of lucky news you've gotten. I might be predicting. I do read past, present, incoming. Those of you that are new, I don't do the whole thing anymore for time's sake, but the way that I channel energy, if this is your pile, something is likely incoming that people will be discussing soon. And it's great news. So congratulations. Letter C could be a thing. All right. And when I say a thing, it could be an initial. It could be in reference to a thing, a location, all of the stuff. Okay. We got the Forest, which that really private energy of like not letting people know about things until they come to fruition. Another example of that is, even if you do let people know stuff, when it comes to fruition, you kind of downplay it. You never know. People never know how well you're actually doing because you hide your successes for sometimes, right? So like, hypothetically speaking, you start a business, right? It's like your dream thing you've been doing. Like, so you wait till it launches, you start seeing some success with it. You don't let people know until it's really, really like bringing in like enough money to where like some of you are like, this is my full-time thing now. Okay, cool. Even when you let people know, they know that it's going well, but they don't know it was like good enough for you to like stop doing other things for finances, right? Like, that's what I mean. Like, you know, I know that pile one is doing really good, but like, I know they were doing this good, right? You're very good at spotting red flags, which is why you're like that. Because I just had that card. So people trust your discernment. Like, you know, because this is privacy combined, and that's the third reference to privacy. People kind of like you've probably been scorned by people, and people can tell. They love that you don't hold it against people because you're still a joy to be around, but like, you keep your business to yourself for the most part. Okay, you're very private. I see it. Yep. You share what needs to be shared and not more. Okay, we got fast sudden connections, sex positivity and pleasure, and third eye. And one night stand is someone that can quickly move on, quickly recovers. That comes from that emotional intelligence. Yeah, we got this literally, and those of you where, because for time's sake, we're not going into hyper specifics. If this is a topic that would genuinely be you, people are saying they know about it, whatever. But generally speaking, right? One night stand is someone that can do something and then be over it the next day. Whether you do something great, it's successful. Okay, boom, it's time for the next big thing. Something didn't work out. Okay, we do not have time to wallow in misery. Boom, moving over. You may, I don't know that people would consider you a person that holds grudges. Doesn't mean that you're easily forgiving. It's just like, you're not really worried about whatever happened beyond that period. Like, if it's something from a year ago, maybe you won't deal with the person anymore. You might have discernment, but you don't have time to dwell. It slows you down because you seem growth minded. And if you don't feel like you're aligning with this energy, people just see you that way. So everything is relative, right? You may not be the most motivated, driven person, but maybe in the environments and the spaces of the people that you're around, you are more so than they. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's where I don't want you guys to get lost. That discernment. Lots of discernment. Lots of foresight. Okay? People think that you're incredibly gifted with kind of reading people, reading situations, knowing what's going to grow, and things like that. Not saying you're never wrong, but you're just gifted in that way, okay? Fast sudden connections. Quick luck is coming in an unforeseeable way. So like, where you have the good discernment and the foresight, there's something that some people are talking about like no one would have been able to see coming, and it's some type of blessing regarding whatever area of life where it hits, right? It either happened already and you know what I'm talking about, it's pending, and maybe you can sense something good's coming, but you still don't know how big it's actually gonna be, or I'm predicting. And that's going to be a topic. So let me get your advice and close you out. For my pile number one, what advice do we have for this green matcha tea with marshmallows? Hey, you already know what needs to go. Can you see? Yup, I'm at perfect angle. Ooh, look at you. I love this pile because everything's just aligning perfectly with this pile, because I don't know if I'm always this aligned in my angles. So like, perfect angle, you can see everything going on. There's something that is revealed, will be revealed, that you've realized, or that people are talking about you realizing soon, because it's gossip. People could be talking about something you don't know about yet. And when you realize, or now that you're realizing, you're banishing whatever that curse is, whether it is self-sabotage and holding yourself back, whether it is connecting with people that enable you to self-sabotage, whether it's people sabotaging, betraying, backstabbing you, like, because the moon in Pisces does rule that, the moon in tarot, let me make sure I'm not spreading misinformation, it rules Pisces versus Cancer, like in astrology, okay? That energy is 12th house energy. where our hidden enemies and allies exist. So you're being encouraged to connect with your shadow work, right, in your 12th house, and banish all of the associated curses, whether it is where your self-limiting beliefs, right, your hidden character flaws that you may not have addressed, hidden talents that you're not fully utilizing, right, that would get you ahead. And again, very deliberately, those hidden enemies that need to go, okay, so that you can find those hidden gifts, create space for those hidden allies that will fully help you ascend. All right, because look at that, I didn't know I was holding this. Banish a curse. Banishing this curse, the curses, whatever, will lead to good fortune, whether they're mental, emotional, could even be spiritual. But work on that, okay? Because you got a lot of positive things people say about you. You have a lot of positive things that may be incoming or currently blocked that can come in as a result of clearing this energy. All right, so I'm going to close you out and move along to pile number 2. All right, pile number 2, my citrus spice cider tea. Let's take a look at what people say, gossip about, and find attractive about you. So let me go ahead and get a reputation check for my citrus spice cider tea. Everybody's been getting multiple cards. What is that? Okay, look at you, alchemist. Ooh, I love it. People say you have the ability to just transform whatever situation. Like, they see you as like a true alchemist. People see you as very, very blessed, and as a blessing. People feel very, very content having you around. Like, you will seldom find someone that doesn't benefit from having you around. It feels like the type that overextends, but I'm not gonna like lecture y'all about that, because we're like high vibes right now. We want to tell you guys what people like about you that feels good, and if it comes out prominently, what I'll do is I'll make some recommendations, right? We'll talk about it at the end. But they see you as a blessing, and they feel like you are very much blessed, right? And what I like about this is it feels like incoming blessing. So if you're already feeling very blessed, the incoming energy is that people are going to be aligning you even more so with blessings soon. So I like that. I love that I have this predictive edge to this style of reading now. All right, we got the transforming, okay, of a lack of inspiration. So where we have people that are in a very not motivated, not driven, not action oriented energy, that's you completely changing that. You bring energy to the table, quite literally, right? And I normally would be alarmed by having this inspirer energy in reverse, but I see so much positivity associated with it, right? So you transform where there's a lack of energy, a lack of inspiration, but flipping Aries in reverse feels like the ultimate mediator, right? The opposite sign of Aries is Libra. It's the diplomatic sign. So you're probably a huge blessing in that you're very diplomatic, right? You initiate things, you get things going, but you don't let things burn up, right? Like, you don't let things fester and build. You know how to handle situations that can be overwhelming before it gets to that point where it comes to conflict, right? You know how to nip the war mentality, the aggressive mentality where people tend to get a bit combative and emotions are very tense. You're good at transforming those situations. That's part of what makes you a huge blessing. So, because look at that. We got the King of Cups right here, the healer. So, and you heal those situations. Very gifted in that way. So tell me more about my pile number 2. My citrus spice cider tea. What's the reputation? What people find attractive? Yep, look at that. We got the Queen of Swords, and morality feels like that diplomatic energy. When we talk about morals, Like, people do see you as, like, people kind of have you on a pedestal, right? Like, they absolutely do. And if anything, like, you're the type of person where you're blessed. People think that you deserve your blessings because of the quality and the content of your character. Like, people say, like, Pile 2 is one of the most honest, trustworthy people ever. You can trust them with your life. You can hand them a stack of cash that's not labeled. Like, you can do whatever you want. Pile 2 can be trusted. Okay, so, like, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong when dealing with them. Okay, the creator is back. Okay. I kind of want to put it back just because it came out in the previous pile, but it's a testament to all of that energy. You've got a lot of energy cards that came with it, and you're very good at being fluid with whatever life hands you, but also participating in whatever is available to you. That's how you transform situations. You work with what you got, right? Some of you are coming from previous pile. Good for you. That's cool. They're shorter, so it's okay. But people see you as a master. They see you as a team leader. You might be the most popular person in your friend group. If not, you have that aura of the most popular friend in the friend group, because, like, you seem to have this energy of mastery in your aura. So, like, people would absolutely label you as the moral master. All right. There we go. Politics. Yeah, I'm just going to keep this one. A lot of air sign energy here, which the sign of communication and I mean the element of communication and intellect, right? Of open-mindedness, of spreading of ideas. So you're good at politics. People with this personality type, people that are really diplomatic, people that are super moral, they tend, I say moral, right? It's debatable, but they're very political. Not saying from a government standpoint, which would benefit a career path for this person, but politics in terms of how to mediate, how to orchestrate, how to deal with people, knowing who you're dealing with when, meeting people where they are. That's what people say. Like, you're probably really good at people. Feels like someone that would be good at sales, actually. Yep, I got the Queen of Pentacles. Very in tune with your more divine feminine side. I'm not saying you're super feminine if that's not like how you want your personality identified, but you do have to be mindful in knowing that the opposite sign of Aries is Libra, right? Which is ruled by Venus. So it's more in tune with the goddess of love, beauty, and stuff. I say stuff versus the god of war. So that, like, that's how people kind of align you with that harmonizing energy, that flowering energy. You'd be a good mentor for people when we talk about that mastery, because you're very good at nurturing and bringing out the best qualities and skills in people, right? Like, you're very good at developing people. And I know that sounds super professional, but, like, I think you're the person that friends level up after. That's why we got master with the 3 of Cups. Like, you're the friend that encourages everyone to be better, and they become better people just because they're friends with you. And it's not about stuff. It's not about material items. It's not about you overextending or giving anything. It's just by being around you and the way you maneuver life, right? Because we know this. People are either going to align with us or we're going to align with them. And you seem pretty stable in your morals, in your diplomatic being, that other people are either just going to have to adapt if they want to be in your life, or they tend to just float away. That's why your actual friends are better off for having you around. We got the Magician, okay, in existence. And I love it because I just got through talking about all this air energy, and the Magician is ruled by Mercury. That is air energy, the planet of ideas, the planet of communication. You see what I'm saying? Like, people see you as really intellectual, really smart, really gifted at communicating. You probably have like a really nice voice. People probably like to listen to you speak. If you write, people love your words, the way you write and things like that. This is also Gemini energy, which aligns with that really diplomatic energy. You know, you're very, very gifted at maneuvering people. And because of this, I'm going to be honest with you. Your reputation and what people say and gossip about is going to vary based on who you ask. And it's not going to be bad. But your personality being so in tune with whoever you're connecting with, I'm not calling you two-faced. I know that's the shadow of how people describe air signs, right? Like they kind of refer to air signs as like phony because it depends on who they're around, and that's a skill. So depending on who you ask, it's going to be different, but you're very good at your words. The way you communicate, the way you connect with people in that, it's going to vary. That's why we got the alchemist of the magician here. All right. But people see you as a blessing. Everything good. Okay. I just don't know that you're going to get distinct examples beyond what I've already given, because it's each person you ask is going to say something different because they're all connecting differently with you, right? For example, you go to this thing for this hobby, those people in that space have this perception of you. You go to a different hobby, those people have a different perspective of you versus your friend group, versus your family, versus your work environment, right? They all have different views. They're all positive, but they're very, very different. I don't think that makes you phony. I think it makes you multifaceted, as long as you don't use your powers for evil. Transformative. Look at that. Scorpio energy, intensity, exposing, purging, renewing. You're very honest. Okay. Possibly sometimes to a fault. You're very good at exposing things. Okay. For the sake of harmonizing and having and being moral and diplomatic. Okay. Completely transitioning. Yeah. We got Sagittarius energy of expansion, optimism and learning and freedom and exploring. Like, you got a big personality. It's very diplomatic, but it's a big personality. That's why you're so diplomatic, because you like connecting with different types of people, it seems, or you're just gifted in that way. So people see you as very smart, very intellectual, right? I mentioned all of the changing, all of the transitions. You handle that well. Anything that needs to shift, you're very good at like recreating something or manipulating a situation to where it's better. All right. Yeah. Performer. People see, this is how people would describe you and your archetype. You're very good at all of that. So tell me more about my pile 2. The citrus spice cider tea. What's the reputation? The one card that literally describes everything we talked about. Androgyny. Okay. So that's an ambiguous, fluid person, right? So here androgyny is someone that like they kind of describe it as like what gender fluid, or Prince was the ultimate example of not being gender fluid and still being super androgynous, right? Like, your personality is fluid in that way. It's ambiguous in that way. So I don't know that anyone will ever get to know the real you, pal, too. And maybe you wanted to see if like I would be spot on, but I'm telling you that you're very good at controlling your narrative. Okay. You're very good at controlling your narrative. You're very good at controlling and managing your reputation. You're very good at positioning yourself so that what people say and gossip about is kind of what you want them to say and gossip about, or at least in alignment with that energy. So look at you. Brilliant, brilliant mastermind. Look at you. All right. Tell me more. Powerful man. Look at that. Super powerful person. That's you. It doesn't have to be masculine. Like, you don't have to be male, right? But like I said, people see you as a person that's very much in power, right? Empowerment is actually a card. Leaders are on the card. Boss is on the card. Strong entrepreneur. Maturity is on the card. Okay? And people like to learn from you. They think you have a lot of knowledge. So let me get one more from this deck. What else do people say? If you are traditional, they see that. They see you as, okay, really relationship minded. If you are in a committed connection, people praise the way you maneuver it. They see you as kind of an inspiration to follow in that connection. Like, this is how I want to handle my spouse and my family and balance my career and all things. I want to do it just like pile 2. Okay. Where you're single, people see you as 100% the commitment type, 100% spouse type, and they know that you're the type of person that would approach someone else, or that they should approach with a traditional old school way. Like, don't pull up on you with whatever they do nowadays. Like, that doesn't seem to be your vibe with the morality and these combined. Like, you're very adaptive, right? You're very ambiguous in the way you connect with people, but as far as a commitment, it needs to be straightforward. Commitments need to be straightforward. Like, my personality can be, flowy, but like what's on paper is on paper, right? The way you're dealing with me needs to be moral. So that's what people say about you. It's very strict, but in a healthy way. Because again, this is the pile that is a blessing and improves the people around. All right, look at you. I don't have anything physical. This wasn't a physical pile, right? Honestly, neither of them were, but like there's a lot of descriptions. It's real detailed in the personality. So it is what it is. We'll go ahead and get your advice. What advice do we have for my pile number 2? Intuition. Okay. And courage. Okay, you can trust your intuition a little more. A lot of the masks you wear is because you don't trust anybody. So I get that this is the pile that makes sense, but you can trust your intuition a little more. Okay? Because you have to be brave and trusting that. That's another part of you, right? Versus just black and white, right is wrong, right versus wrong. When we talk about morality, like everything's not black and white. There are gray areas of gray in between. So you have to use your intuition when you're working in those gray areas, in that gray space. So be confident and courageous enough to do that, all right? I'm going to close you out, move along to pile number 3. All right, pile number 3, my chai, latte, or tea. Let's take a look at what people say, gossip about, and find attractive about you. So what is the reputation for this chai, tea, or latte? What is the reputation for this group? At pile number 3. Ooh, this is the first pile that only got 1. All right, we got B, and we've got the maturing energy of the threshold. Okay, I'm very intrigued by this combination. So what does that mean? There's something about you, who you are, like your overall identity, where it's like something is already at fruition. Something's already like done, right? So like when we talk about being on the brink of something, we're beyond that. We're already in it, right? We're experiencing it. So whereas the energy of B is like I am in the now, like being in the present, you're beyond the present. You're already in the future, right? Because the threshold has already been crossed. Right? And the threshold is now, but you've ascended beyond it, or like a shadow would be where the threshold has been there and we're not present enough to see it. Ooh, this is my first pile that's got a little bit of a shadow. Look at you. Why are you doing that? Let me just develop it really quick so we can move on, but just make sure you're not doing that. This is a stagnant energy, right? The threshold is here, right? In a maturing state, it's been here. You can open the door, you can walk through the door, you can go where you're trying to go, but you're not present enough to see it. So don't be that person. Don't let that be you I'm talking about, okay? But like I mentioned, the most positive expression of this is like the door is there. You've already walked through the threshold, whereas the present moment is a certain distinct energy. You're already beyond the present. Like you are like the door's opening for everyone else, but you've already ascended beyond that point. So we're going to lead with that because we want to be positive, but just know that shadow exists. And I do not always read shadows in negative sense where it's not real, or I don't look for them in the piles. So just make sure that you're not on the shadow here, because this is my first shadow in this reading. All right, especially since I just split the deck and I saw the Fool. Now the literal definition of the Fool is opportunity. Someone that's always willing to go and start fresh and just always inspired, always beyond the threshold. It's like, well, that died. Like that died. That era is dead. I left it as soon as I realized that cycle was closing, wasn't worried about it, moved on. Versus the word meaning fool, as in foolish, as in you stagnant. Don't do that, okay? All right. So tell me about this pile number 3. Is chai, tea, or latte? What are people saying, gossiping about, and finding attractive about pile number 3? Okay, we've got it saying a lot of things. I'm gonna take all of these in order in the bottom. I think this one fell first. I got, okay, yep, I got that King of Swords, which is sharp intellect, right? It's someone that likes to be in control, or it's someone that always is, for better, for worse, right? I mentioned that shadow being someone that's stuck, stagnant, and they're trying to control a situation to their own personal detriment, because you're not fully present enough to see that if you just release control here, the door, like, you can just walk through the door. You're so busy looking for the door, trying to control where the handle should be, that it's an odd, unconventional door. Maybe the handle is at the top, or maybe the actual handle is a different handle you're not used to. The lock is not where you're used to it being. The different kind of key. You see what I'm saying? That's the shadow of this pile. You're trying to control what should be versus what actually is. All right. And when we talk about the best expression of that, it's someone that maintains control because they're always willing to pivot. The threshold has been available and you spotted it as soon as it hit. So you already through the door, everybody else just finding it. Okay. You're not in the present, you're looking ahead. Okay. I got the Lovers. I don't know why I grabbed it in reverse. Ooh, I don't want this to be a shadow pile. Let me see. Actually, in reverse, it actually is someone that is very distinctly who they are, okay? Which is why the shadow is so prominent. You're at varying polarities of this. Some of you, in the best way, you're very firm in your identity and who you are, to the point where that's going to be to your benefit. You're not wavering from who you are. You're just adapting to your situation and circumstances. The other side of you you're not evolving as a person. You're not maturing as a person. So you're stuck, you're stagnant, and people say that, okay? They do. The Lover in reverse is not positive, really, beyond it being a distinct personality, because it's ruled by Gemini, which would be two halves, two sides of a person. Here, I'm reading it as like one clear identity. So the lighter side of this is also someone that doesn't need help. They don't need a partner. They got it by themselves, right? They can reflect on the past. They're already beyond the future because they're good at looking ahead and just knowing what's to come and preparing for the future, right? Because we're always living in the now, but like, it's one thing to be rooted in the present, but you also have to kind of anticipate what's to come. And like the lighter side, like people are like, nah, like pile 3 is it. But I have to read the shadow, y'all, because it's someone that's set in their ways, so much so that it negatively impacts their relationships. You can't have partnerships, romantic or otherwise, because like people are saying you struggle in relationships, partnerships or otherwise, because you're either fixated on the past or you're too fixated in the future and controlling everything, which is why we have B, which is now in reverse. Like, that's not good, because now we can't perform, right? We can't build now for the future because we're too busy anticipating it and worrying about what already happened, right? You have to have a certain, like we talk about percentages, like past, present, incoming energy is all one thing. We just have to know where we're prioritizing it in equal parts, right? You got to be now a certain percentage versus reflecting on what already happened versus forecasting what's going to happen in a healthy amount so that it actually keeps you in a good cycle of things working well, right? So you don't want to do anything in excess, right? People are probably saying you need to heal, so you're not like that when we talk about the shadow. Now, lighter side feels like a recovery. Maybe you were once the shadow of this pile, that's why it's so prominent. But the lighter side is someone that heals, works things out, right? Is really self-sufficient, really healthy, really in control. All right. High intensity, high energy with that Knight of Wands. Really good at blooming and nurturing projects and situations and relationships where it makes sense. Okay. Some of you, and I don't know, it doesn't matter, light or shadow here, there's a distinct connection people are referencing. Like some of you have a person, a very specific person you're interested in romantically, and you're not really open to any other connection. I don't know if it's a breakup. I don't know if it's just someone you're interested in that you're trying to connect with, but like people are talking about the fact that you're not really willing to move beyond this person. Okay. So I don't know what that's all about, but that's a topic. So let me see. Ooh, why am I doing that? The source and the creator is very high, intense, fiery energy. So let me see why I got all these cards. Let me get myself together and ground this pile. Because you got a lot of cards already on the table. Look at you. Pile 3, Matcha, Latte, or Tea. Tell me what that is. Okay. So schizophrenia is someone that's in their head a lot, right? I'm not talking about it from a medical standpoint, right? I'm talking about it from the meaning of this card, where someone's kind of in their head ruminating a lot. It actually perfectly describes the shadow. That's probably why this card wants to come out, because it's someone that's so in their head reflecting or anticipating that they're not present enough to move. They're stuck. So watch it when we talk about the shadow, because it's they're saying it's someone that's not really gonna, like, you're where you're gonna be. The threshold has already passed. Like, there's no evolution, there's no growth, there's no potential with someone that's not able to get beyond that point. Okay. And it's very clear if you're like that. If you know you're very hard-headed, you're very set in your ways, you're not willing to grow and evolve, I would hope that someone is self-aware enough to know that you're stubborn. Because I find that people that are like that, know they're like that, they just don't think it's anything wrong with being like that until they see where it bites them, right? So if that's you, you stop. I don't want that for you. Onyx doesn't want that for you. Hierophant is actually ruled by the most fixed, most grounded, most stubborn of the signs, Taurus. Okay, if you have those placements, that would make sense, because the sign of Taurus, and I love Taurus. Okay, I got a Taurus placement myself, but it's Earth, which is the most dense of the elements, and it's also a fixed sign. The word fixed is literal here. It's the middle of a season. It's the most stable part of the season. It's not really going anywhere. It's summer, right? It's spring, right? Now this one's literally spring, but that's the worst part of it. Okay. Now, those of you where you were talking about your most positive traits and all of the things that people think about you, I said you're affirming your identity, right? I said you're very good at healing. You're good at anticipating things. You're very good at creating a foundation for yourself and possibly others, right? Some of you, the foundation you create for yourself, it just ends up benefiting other people because you're so grounded, you're so stable, because you have that healthy balance of percentages of reflection of the past, being rooted in the present, experiencing it while forecasting and planning for the future. You got that routine on lock, right? That's the best side of you, is you got that under control. And so you're kind of a leader, right? Nothingness here talks about nothing to worry about. Okay. This is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the spiritual leader or master. It's, I have created a routine, like a state of being accountable for myself without anyone else, to where I'm so good at it, I can teach other people. This is my healing process. This is my health and wellness process. This is my daily routine. This is how I nurture myself. This is how I make sure I'm constantly growing and evolving. That's how they describe the better, I don't want to say better, the more enlightened side of this pile. The shadow, it has the potential for all of this. The shadow is only the shadow because of the need to shadow work to get to this. Because sometimes it does take for people to understand how focusing too much on the past or future can negatively impact your present. And once you realize that that's not good, you unlock that, you become the best side of the reputation pile. So look at you. I'm excited for you guys to grow and evolve and be better. So, but I mean, I'm saying, like, this is someone that really has harmonized their routine of, like, okay, you got to reflect on what's happened. Yes. You got to live in the future. I mean, you got to live in the present, and you have to anticipate the future. And you're good enough at it that you can show other people, or at least you're so good at it doing it in the 3D that people can see you and mock, mirror, copy how you live, because you're just that good at it. We got the house 12, which is the house of shadow work. People would describe the lighter side of this pile as very, very connected to your shadow. You can only be this sort of master. You can only be this disciplined and in alignment with what needs to happen if you've done shadow work. Because you have to be comfortable with not only being uncomfortable, but you have to be comfortable with, your shadow traits. Like, what's my worst traits? Like, where am I more likely to self-sabotage? Right? You have to be realistic with yourself. Like, I know I have a tendency to stagnate. So how do I avoid doing that now that I've acknowledged that this is my shadow? And that's the lighter side of people. Like, man, Pile 3 is so accountable for everything. They might be overly accountable. They might be overly disciplined, right? They're too in control, because why do they know all their own character flaws better than other people, right? Like, that's the energy of actually Saturn, hilariously enough, because that is the planet of karma, of lessons, of development, of the slow and steady building of what you want in a way that it is tangible. Nothing's throwing it off. Like, you have a routine no one can deviate you from. You have a level of discipline no one can take from you. Doesn't matter what chaos, what setback, like, your discipline is there. You slightly fall off the wagon, you're back on it next week. Okay, like, stable. This is like the most stable person I've seen, which is why the shadow is someone that's fixed and not growing. I hope you guys understand what I mean when I'm talking about these polarities. I hope you see. All right. If you're really busy, people see it, because I feel really winded, which makes sense because that Knight of Wands is someone that's really, really active, really busy. Okay. I don't feel tired. I just feel winded. Like I move around a lot, like I'm doing a lot, like I'm going a lot of places. Yep. All right, let me see. What else we're looking at? This is actually my last step before your advice, actually. Let me see. What do people say, gossip about, and find attractive about my chai, latte, or tea? Give me some. We're going to fill out this whole row. Freedom, alignment, aerial fitness. Okay. You're athletic. Good for you. Some of you are like, no, I'm not. Okay, if you exercise in any way, if you do yoga, if you stretch, whatever it is, there's something you do for health and wellness benefits that people can see on you, and they think it makes you very physically attractive, on top of you look like a healthy person. Okay, shout out to Pile 3. You're the first pile with physical stuff. You are a person that looks very healthy, very healed, very in shape. And I'm not saying like you're this like gym rat and you look super fit. I'm saying whatever level of fitness you are, or even if you're not super physically fit, I don't know if it's your diet. I don't know if it's just the fact that the discipline and the routine of your day-to-day keeps you in alignment with your inner peace, but you glow. Okay. You glow like a healthy person. Okay. You don't own me feels like freedom not in the rebellious way, but in a, I know exactly who I am. You're not deviating me from my path. Okay. Like, you don't own me. I am in control. You're not going to switch up my mood today. You're not going to throw me off my routine. Like, you're not going to upset me in a way that throws me off my routine. Like, I'm not doing it. Okay. In control. So tell me more. Third eye, that's that foresight, knowing well enough. I paused because I needed to look at this. You got 3 chakras on the table technically, right? So healing, it is the watery, and I know that that's technically the placement of the heart chakra here, okay? But I'm going to treat it like it's supposed to be the throat chakra since it's so blue. Maybe we'll treat it like a heart throat chakra hybrid, okay? She's got all of her chakras aligned here, right? And then we've also got the third eye. So people think you're very in tune with the universe. If you're not spiritual, it doesn't matter. People just see you as a person that's just in alignment with the universe, which I've mentioned it before. You do not have to be spiritual to be in this vibe. There are the most people that are this in alignment often aren't. It's because they see what needs to be done. They make the shifts in their habits and routines to do it. And then sometimes spiritual people come around like, how did you do that? And it's like they didn't focus on the readings, right? They didn't keep getting readings, right? They didn't keep doing shadow work, focus on the past. They grounded themselves in the present while acknowledging the past and future. And they started building. right? Like that's what that is. So you're very aligned in your chakras. People can tell that, and people that use that language would describe you as such. Okay, but very, very prominent foresight. Something about the color blue. Whether it's your throat chakra, whether it is supposedly the indigo, which is actually your third eye, like it's prominent. You have a certain knowing, like that Hierophant, like that spiritual leader, organizational leader, right? It is a leader of all structured forms. All right. Beautiful eyes on my table. But people see you so much like a gift. And I'm gonna go ahead and close you out. Actually, I just split. Did you see all of that? Look at me. I don't want to lose my place. So hot sauce is someone that's really action oriented. Accept is someone that's action oriented because it's one of offers and gestures. And then athlete is, I mentioned all of that activity. So people see you as just a go-getter. But I'm going to keep gifts here because a chakra here, I have chakras here. But more specifically, third eye, third eye, third eye, right? So all of those cards, like you seem so wise. You have so much foresight, right? Like people would call you really intuitive. People would literally refer to you as psychic. So like, let's say you're in environments where people are not spiritual at all, and like, or they just don't talk about woo-woo stuff. Something about you, the running joke would be like at the office would be like, man, you know Pal 3 psychic though, right? Because House 12 rules that. Like, I don't know how they be knowing, but they know, right? They always know. And I'm telling you, if they're psychic, like that would be the joke, is that you're psychic, all right? Or maybe you actually are. Some of you are. So I'm going to get this advice and close you out. Oh, they want me to call it out. People, okay, if you're a late bloomer, stand up. Look at me. Shout out to y'all. Y'all been coming through prominently. Because people may describe you as that. It's not an insult. People that are Saturn ruled, which would be heavy, like Capricorn placements. It's basically like Saturn does not deny, he delays, right? Until you're ready, till you're mature enough to handle the blessing. Right. So I mentioned the shadow kind of needing that development and possibly having setbacks and like possibly sabotaging relationships and connections, and those being lessons for development. That's what it is. Right. It's like keep repeating the cycle until you figure it out. OK. And the lighter side has figured it out. It's been slow. It's been steady, but it's stable. It's not going anywhere. All of the success, the relationships, the knowledge, it's not fluctuating like spiking up, spiking down. It's a stable wave. All right. So let me get your advice. All right. What we got? A chai, latte, or tea. All right. What do you got? Confidence. So you just be confident in who you are, and be confident enough to pivot, be confident enough to be flexible, be confident enough to let go of the past, not hyperfixate the future, and be present. Okay, because that's going to be the most important thing for the shadow or the developmental side of the pile. The lighter side, you don't need me to tell you to be confident. You are confident. That's how you're able to be this way. You've learned some lessons. It's been slow, it's been steady, but you made it. Be confident in the fact that you made it. Okay. Be protective of all that you've built. Be protective of all that it took to become this version of you. Okay. And be very defensive about your confidence, because regardless of which side you're on, don't let anyone knock your confidence to where you stabilize that on the shadow. Like, because I feel like that's a defense mechanism to cling and try to control and be fixed and not moving. But like the lighter side needs me to tell you even more so, like, be defensive about your confidence, because people are jealous of this personality type. Okay, because you've unlocked the code of life. Like, you've unlocked the secret to success. It's that simple. But most people lack the follow through and the discipline to just do it. So you seem to have unlocked the healthiest instance of how to live consistently, right? One that is a sure path to success and love and beauty and all that, right? Like all of the things that come with that. So anytime somebody tries to like attack your confidence, be very defensive of that. So you may find, yeah, they're making me talk about that. Because when we talk about gossip, these are conversations that will be had about you regardless. House 12 rules are hidden enemies. Okay? So it absolutely, people that would try to sabotage you, pretend to like you, would fit here. So anyone that tries to sabotage you, do anything that would break your confidence, hit your confidence, recognize that. Utilize that third eye that I have on the table. Trust your intuition, because defend yourself. Defend all of that you are. Okay? Because I hope that's hitting home and making sense, because it feels like an attack, right? Your advice is to defend your confidence, and anything that would try to knock your confidence, be very aggressive in being defensive about that. Okay? Whether it's cutting people off, whether it's fighting for your life, whatever it is, that's what you need to do. Okay? So I'm going to close you out, move along to pile number 4. All right, pile number 4, my chrysanthemum flower tea. We're going to take a look at what people say, gossip about, and find attractive about you. And I haven't gotten that many like physical attraction, but I'm going to say something about this floral energy feels like people are definitely calling you like very physically attractive. All right. Now I want to lead with, I have chrysanthemum piles on the channel. Most of them are in the Secret Admirer playlist, but I also have like those what's the karma, the outcome readings, and I was doing them annually. I think I only have like 3 up, so I'm probably going to end up making a unlisted playlist to link for the members. But if you look for the chrysanthemums on my channel, maybe those messages will resonate. But this is my revenge glow up pile. This is my revenge glow up specific to career pile. Okay, just straight up, that's literally what threw itself out. And at the bottom of your reset for our overview deck, you've got the blue moon, rare opportunity for renewal. So people are talking about that, where that's something you're experiencing now. And I could be predicting, like I tell y'all all the time, this energy sometimes prepares you for what's to come. So if for whatever reason that chrysanthemum tea, which is a random one I just put because it fit, this is your message. All right, prepare yourself for what's coming. So let me just go ahead and move this out of the way. We're not gonna waste any more time. I want to see what this blue moon renewal is for your reputation. What's that? Revenge glow up regarding a reputation feels like being like you might have been wronged at some point. Like somebody damaged your reputation in some way that was unfair, because why is it like that, right? So I've got awareness. Ooh, awareness is coming out. People are seeing you clearly. Okay, people are saying they see you clearly. Their perspective has broadened with the Sagittarius energy. They've learned more. They have a more elevated perspective regarding you. Okay, like the explorer feels like going on a journey. It feels like learning knowledge. So when we talk about gossip and conversations, it's, oh, I learned some stuff. I've observed some stuff. I've witnessed some stuff. I have an awareness now regarding pile number 4. You see what I'm saying? So like I'm seeing what's really real. So, all right, look at you. Thank you for bringing the juicy, energy to close. Let me get the tarot deck so we can see what's that all about, why people are saying that. But I'm serious. Look at that. That's the Page of Cups. It's an energy of like, okay, this is energy of extending offers of like friendship, of understanding, because people are saying they have an awareness, they have an understanding of you now. And remember, this is the revenge glow up pile. So see, some of you people are saying they understand exactly why you left someone romantically, just whatever. People are understanding why you stepped away from some type of connection situation overall. Okay, because the Lovers is actually, there's people that are releasing resentment or preconceived notions. Because yeah, this is the power. People been gossiping about you and saying negative things, and it's like people are like, I'm getting to know Pile 4, or I've heard through people that I know and trust about Pile 4. And I'm not going to go based off of what you're saying, because the energy is like, yeah, something's not right. Okay, so let me keep pulling to see. Y'all, what is that? That's so creepy. A cycle is closing. Okay, this is the Chariot, where we're moving beyond something, we're chasing success, but there is an awareness. So people are saying, yes, people would describe you as having a certain awareness, but the tone is people's awareness of you and seeing you clearly. Why is that the theme? So we got the missing piece to a puzzle. There's someone specific saying you are the missing piece to some sort of a puzzle they're trying to put together. I did have those career indicators at the very beginning. I almost forgot with this, but you might be the missing piece to some type of career bubble. And in you being that, that's going to help elevate your reputation and what people are saying, or that's helped benefit you, right? Because people now can see who you actually are, how you actually perform, the things you actually contribute, right? And that's why this is the career glow up pile. So, right, if you're asking, some of you are like, this is the topic I need most. People been lying about me, Onyx. Listen, they're not going to be able to lie on you for long. If you found this channel, one thing we don't know how to do over here is hide or lie. So the energy is loud and it is distinct. So there's a cycle closing where people are going to see you very, very clearly. This is going to lead, or has already led, to a career ascension. And obviously others of you, that's just what's leading to the glow up, is the performance in whatever career path you have available to you, whatever opportunity we're talking about. So I'm realizing that I am using these decks out of order. I have the Melanin Pop, which is loud and it really wants to talk to this pile specifically. So we'll go back to the astrology based deck. I just split, and I have the Parrot, and I have the It's Complicated, Just Friends situation. So Just Friends is a friend zone card, right? But if we want to generalize, it's a card of rejection, right? It's a card of not being interested in, it's basically when you're not interested in being more than friends with someone, right? So when we talk about exploring connections, it's people that maybe just didn't want to be your friend at all, right? Where you're looking for friends, or didn't want you to be a part of groups, organizations. Like it's the rejection of like careers and things like that. And the Parrot feels very gossipy and on theme with what we've kind of been talking about. So this is 100% my reputation pile of like, maybe go to the Parrot. Okay, I have a more recent one in memberships if you are a member. If not, I think I have one that is I think I have one in that playlist that's not members exclusive that you can go to, okay? But we got regrets, literal regrets. I didn't realize that was the first word on the card, because I want you back, of like people that may have misjudged you, a person that may have like I don't know, it just feels like misinterpreting someone's energy and the awareness of who someone actually is versus what you projected onto them. I've got Lock and Key, which is also a redirection. I have Skeleton Keys that have locks and keys. But secrets are going to come out, okay? Because it feels like someone that has been very quiet about burdens and whatnot, or silence regarding a burden. Like there's some secrets here that are revealed, have been revealed, or about to be revealed in a way that like it changes, actually looks like it's going to really improve your reputation. Okay, so tell me more about what's going on for my pile 4, please. What do people say, gossip about, and find attractive about my chrysanthemum flower tea? Manifesting. Ooh, okay. We've got red flags. I am going to pull more, but I want to talk about this red flag in that it feels like someone that's keeping toxic, dangerous situations hidden, right? It feels like hiding situations that are red flags and that coming out, okay? So I don't know what specific situation I'm talking about. It will vary for all of you, but I think maybe I'll get like at least 2 more, since this deck is so prominent in this pile. All right. right, tell me more about my chrysanthemum flower tea. You got spice things up. Okay, really exciting. I got a lot coming from these. Okay. There's that misunderstood card. You got community. And one more. Androgyny. Desert. You know what? I don't have a problem with this deck's so loud. Let's go. Okay. Same vibe as that Just Friends card. We got rebound, right? Where someone may have rebounded, whether romantically or made a different choice in terms of partnerships, friendships, whatever it is. Because we have someone here that was historically misunderstood in a community that's now getting a lot more love due to people being a little more open-minded and flexible in their perspective, if that's you, okay? I have here someone, at least one person, is like a secret admirer, which makes sense. You got this is actually the chrysanthemum tea, but we got a secret, like, in your dreams love, and someone is very sensually attracted to someone to the point where like they literally fantasize about them. So there's one person, but I feel like this is my pile of having that overall aura of people tend to be attracted to you, right? Like you're the type of person that people have like you may benefit from those seductive energy aura readings that I have. Like I think sugar and spice aura type. I think that's what the thumbnail says, okay? Because you have a certain energy that people connect with, whether you're trying to or not. So you got a lot of people that would secretly be attracted to you in that way, and they would just keep it to themselves, right? People see you as very flexible, fluid, adaptive, a little bit ambiguous or quirky, but they like it. They find you sweet, kind, caring. There's just this overall theme of topic that's taken over the table, okay? And an awareness of that and the revelation of that. So let me see. Tell me more about what's going on with my chrysanthemum tea. What do people say, gossip about, and find attractive about my pile number 4? They think your unique edge actually makes you really attractive. Especially where we clarify the misunderstood energy, because there's something about being misunderstood and being misinterpreted, and the clarity and awareness of where that's the case by an other group, right? Someone else or other people. Okay, we've got the house 3 in reverse, which would rule long distance travel, which would rule foreign cultures, which would rule an expanded mindset, right? It's a journey of awareness that's not easy to, it's not an easy conclusion to draw, because it's not anything you would have been raised knowing. It's not anything you were exposed to in your childhood. It's something that in your adulthood you go out in the world and see for yourself. That's how people describe you, okay? And people that aren't used to things beyond what they were raised knowing or what they were raised dealing with, they may not respond well due to closed-minded nature. I see that here, okay? What do I got? That's a really interesting thing. Because why do I have both house 3 and house 9 in reverse? Okay, I almost want to take, okay, I'm definitely going to take house 9 as incoming. I'll even position it this way because I'm not going to pull any more, because open perspective. Okay, incoming here. Oh, okay, I'm on to it. It took me a second, y'all, but I came to the conclusion, okay? This is foreign people, foreign knowledge, higher education. This is more localized energy. An incoming energy of the house 9 in reverse is kind of these people kind of broadening perspective. So it's the same exact vibe. So people like more within your local vicinity, I guess. like within your neighborhood, within your city, wherever you are, if you are a foreigner or if like you're just different, anything like that could truly just be like at a company, right? Kind of being a little more open-minded, because that's the theme of like what people are talking about, is like being open-minded regarding you. And honestly, it is flip-floppy because people describe you as incredibly ambiguous and open-minded. Like you're very open and like free and receptive to anybody, especially people that are different from you. Like you fit in anywhere, anyhow. So maybe you expect people to be that way, and that's not the world, y'all. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, like it should be, but this is a pile of possibly having to learn the hard lessons of that's not how it is. So I'm seeing where a specific setting, I'll say, because it's more than 1, 2, 3 people, are a little more open and receptive to you and your quirks than historically in previous environments, or even in the same environment. We got the Aquarius energy of being very forward thinking and innovative, right? Always the first to do something, always the first to launch something, to bring something to people's attention. That's how people describe you, right? Very ambiguous, very unique, very innovative, community minded, progressive. Like that's your vibe. Okay. And the beauty is it looks like what's now available to you or incoming, the environments where that gets to be your vibe, where you don't have to worry about it. So people appreciate that as your vibe. Okay. So let me see if I'm missing anything else on the table. Watch that energy, because something about, there's a certain uniqueness to your sensual energy. Like there's a unique edge. Like you don't have a traditional seductive vibe. Like it's something slightly off center in a good way. So I feel like you may not, this personality that's being described in other people's lens would not be aware of your seductive energy. I'm not saying you don't have a seductive vibe. I'm not saying like you don't have sexual energy. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm saying I don't think you channel it intentionally day to day. So I think there's certain situations and circumstances where there's people that are highly sexually attractive to you in a way that you do not realize, because your quirky edge is not like that, or maybe you're not used to people catching on. You know what I'm trying to describe this energy, and I think I got, okay. So you know how there are people that are like, I had a pal that was like late bloomers, right? So like, let's say you're full grown adult now, you're in your 20s, I'll say mid 20s up, 25 and older, right? And like, you've always had this weird, quirky hobby. Maybe you like video games, maybe you like anime, maybe you like those types of things, or anything other that would align in that area of how people hadn't quite commercialized it like that. If that's your vibe, that's your aesthetic, like now that you're at a mature age, you've grown into your grown up energy, but I don't think that you quite realize it. So like, you're 25 plus and you dressing up like anime characters, that's a weird fantasy for some people. You see what I'm saying? So in your mind, you're like, I'm just dressed up like this character and I'm not really like trying to be seductive. This is a war heroine or a war hero. Like nothing, like you're not thinking about it like that, but like that's a fantasy for people. So like now you turn it on people, you don't realize you're turning on when you're doing that, because that was never your intention. The reason why I want to bring that to your attention is because I like people to be in control of their seductive energy. I don't want it to just be to lead them, because that's how situations and the misunderstandings and the chaotic environments happen, right? You start getting accused of stuff that had nothing to do with you and all kinds of other things. So just be mindful of examples and relevant relative instances, like something I just said, because the energy is off in a way that makes me slightly uncomfortable, that I needed to mention. All right, I just wanted you to know that. So let me get your advice and close you out for my Chrysanthemum Tea pile. All right. Yeah, see, protection. Be very protective of your energy, of your aura, of how you come across to other people, right? And use your intuition as a source of protection, so you know what types of people you should be talking to, should be dealing with versus not. You're very open. People think you're very open. You're very good at including everybody. Like, you like to interact with everybody. Sometimes you may start interacting with people you got no business dealing with because you're so receptive to people that are different from you, right? For example, a good example of how everything is not white and black, there are shades of gray. If you have an energy that's different, where people would misunderstand you in a way where they treat you poorly, think about why that is the case, right? Sometimes certain qualities in people could be red flags. Okay? So whereas you're like, no, we should treat everybody the same and people that are different should be embraced, I just don't want you to start embracing people that are rebellious or possibly dangerous because, like, you seem to have an affinity for outcasts. That's what it is. You have an affinity for outcasts in a way that's not going to benefit you because it feels like you have a really gentle soul underneath the misinterpreted aura. Feels like my vulture pile. Certain people, just leave them alone, okay? Trust your intuition when it comes to your protection. Use your discernment regarding what does and doesn't make sense and dealing with red flags, okay? Because another thing, just an accountability thing before I wrap up your pile, sometimes our misunderstood energy in collective spaces is due to a lack of social cues and nuance in dealing with others. So if you lack that in a way where people would misinterpret you and villainize you, I could see how the other side of that same coin would be lacking discernment in who actually is good to be a friend or be around. Like you would struggle with having the discernment of, this is a good friendship, this is a safe friend versus not, right? So just something to think about, right? Something to think about. But I'm going to close you out. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.